93% unhealthy. That means when you're driving down the road and you pass, I don't know, 10 cars, that means that 9 of the people that are in those cars are sick. If you have a classroom of 100 kids and 93 of those kids are failing the class, that means there's a problem, and it's not necessarily with the kids. There's something not being addressed, right? And when you get an update on your phone, how many times do you find that you start seeing things that are slowing down, and all of a sudden your phone says, "Oh, you're low on memory," and you start scrolling through, and then lo and behold, there's apps like games that you didn't put on there that were just added, and then everything starts to gum up the works, right? That happened to me this last week. When that starts to happen, when we are particularly in our modern food environment, we are struggling now with metabolic health. We're struggling with what's happening in our bodies day in, day out. And we can't keep going on this. I can't. I couldn't. I was diagnosed with diabetes. I had dealing with heart disease, hypertension, and I was led to think that was normal. I was overweight. I had migraines, and everybody seems to have migraines. Everybody seems to have acid reflux, and it just kind of seems everything I talked about. It's like, well, nobody cares because, well, everybody has it. But what if that's really not how it's supposed to be? What if there was actually some doctors, medical providers, nutritionists, dietitians that are all recognizing, and the science is saying, guess what? We don't have these conditions. They're there, but we don't have to have them. Well, that's what insulin resistance is. That's what we're talking about, is how to reverse insulin resistance. Guys, I'm Coach Ken. I'm up in Anchorage, Alaska. Welcome in today. Hope you're having an awesome day. And even if you're feeling under the weather, even with all of these chronic diseases that I'm talking about, we're talking things like PCOS, low testosterone, neuropathy, fibromyalgia, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, prediabetes, diabetes. You're like so many people. You're not alone in this. That's the crazy part. You and I are not alone in this at all. So many people are dealing with it. So today we're going to jump in, and Dr. Kenny is a friend of mine. Kenny Harless is going to be breaking down a little bit more about what insulin resistance is and how you can reverse it, how we can reverse this and get our lives back on track.
Dr. Kenny, I'll let you take it from there.
Megan, thank you so much. As you said, I honestly wasn't looking for this, but I feel so blessed the opportunity to do this. And it changed my life. And I thought, my God, if it's changed my life, why would I not do the same for others? And a year and a half ago, I nearly died from the very thing that I'm going to be sharing with you. I spent almost 2 months of my life in the hospital, and it was a disaster. I mean, I had every sign of insulin resistance. I had belly fat that would not go away. It didn't matter how much I ran on a treadmill. It didn't matter how much I restricted my calories. I was developing skin tags. I had inflammation throughout my body. My right shoulder, I couldn't sleep on it. I pitched in high school and college. I'd always been very active. Maybe kind of like you and I spoke about before. I mean, just nothing was working. My cholesterol was going up. I had sleep apnea. God bless my wife. I mean, she even recorded it to let me hear myself, right? It was terrible. I had high blood sugar and cravings, and I was Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde all the time. And I didn't understand why. And I want to give everyone an example that I pray will make sense to you. But earlier this past year, we were able to celebrate our 20th anniversary. And we went out to eat, and we got an old fashioned to drink. And we don't drink any longer, but we did this night. Now, I bring this to your attention because if you've ever had alcohol, if you haven't, this won't make much sense. But if you have, it doesn't take much if you don't drink to feel the effects of it. Now, if we drank every day, we would need more of that thing to create the same effect.
Yeah, let's pass on that.
And many of us on here, I'm sure, have been told to eat every few hours to keep your metabolism elevated, right? And the problem with that is every time you eat food, your blood sugar will go up and, well, insulin will go up. Now, if you're a diabetic, you're going to inject insulin to bring it back down. And the more frequently you do this, the more resistant that our cells become. Now, all of those warning signs on the right start popping up 15 years before we lose control of our blood sugar and they diagnose you with diabetes. Now, once the diabetic diagnosis occurs, you have no longer have blood sugar control and your cardiovascular disease risk goes up 80%. Alzheimer's and dementia goes up 81%. They now call it diabetes type 3. It starts to show its face early on. You start to get brain fog and forget why you went in the room. Where are your car keys?
Anybody feel
What
that
am I
way?
doing with my kids?
All right.
These are all warning signs of this. You start to develop this sugar because your insulin can't keep it under control in your joints. That's osteoarthritis. They tell you that it's old age. Your body's starting to pee more frequently to get rid of the sugar. It's stuffing it into your female parts. Ladies, you're getting polycystic ovarian syndrome like my wife had for 20 years. Neuropathy. I mean, I used to treat nearly 1,000 patients a week. If I told you how many cases of neuropathy, neuralgia, and sciatica that I took care of and migraine headaches, and I had no clue that it was insulin resistance. The reason I'm bringing this to your attention is because we have a huge problem. They're now finding non-alcoholic fatty liver disease in our 3-year-old children. Diabetes is out of control, and 1/3 of all teenagers in America have prediabetes. That's insulin resistance, bon voyage, coming to
You're funny.
diabetes and obesity.
You go,
So we have a
well, then
huge
go somewhere
problem.
else,
And when
man.
I
I
saw
like
that, I love to find solutions.
Man,
And I went
say what?
on
I'm
a quest. And someone cared enough about me to share this with me. And when I say this, it honestly, it
To a
really
lady, by the
honestly
way,
blew
Dr.
my mind.
G.
Our company that we've partnered with, and I feel so blessed to get to work with, they realized in the 80s that, well, the drug companies created a drug called a statin to bring down cholesterol. And they realized that what was causing this issue was ripping the fiber and taking it out of the food. Well, they thought, well, let's just put the fiber back in the food. And this is what they did. This is how it started. Now, there's over 24 clinical studies at places like BYU, UCLA, UNLV, Stanford, Cornell, just to name a few. The Cleveland Clinic, the #1 heart institute on the planet, why would they study fiber? We're going to talk about that. Now, these products are listed in the very book that doctors kind of uses their Bible, if you will. You can look up any medication, you can look up the side effects, and you can look up these nutraceuticals that I'm going to share with you that someone shared with me. Now, nutraceuticals means they're standardized. Physicians love this because they know batch per batch, box per box, what the person's getting. Though what they don't like with a supplement is, well, I mean, they don't know what's going to happen in each box or each batch. These are all third-party tested for herbicides and pesticides, mold, mildew, carcinogens, and they know dose per dose what they're getting. Now, these, because they're nutraceuticals and they're found in, the PDR, you can actually use your HSA and FSA to purchase these. These also are found now in 64 countries around the world. They're patented, they can't be copied, and they work so effectively. We have so much research on them that we guarantee them to anybody that uses them for 90 days. Now, here is where I was really excited. Not only are they in the PDR, not only do we guarantee them, but it's $5 works. It's a 3-step process. The standard American wakes up and they eat break fast thanks to Kellogg's. The word break fast means breaking your fast. And the last thing you want to do is consume refined carbohydrates where the fiber's stripped. Ask any diabetic, what are they to drink when their blood sugar is too low? You can put that, and that's because there's no fiber in there. And the fiber keeps the blood sugar low, and if your blood sugar stays low, insulin stays low, that you either make or you take. Now, what we teach and what we do with people is we give them this incredibly delicious willpower packet chlorogenic acid tea. This acts like a natural metformin and GL shots that everybody's doing. This is willpower. It crushes food noise and keeps your blood sugar nice, low, and stable. And when insulin is let go, so for breakfast, you're burning your handles for fuel instead of eating. And you get to lunch, if you're hungry, you eat your meal. Spike your blood sugar and break fast. Now you're going to grab your second packet of willpower, mix that up in the bottle. It tells you where to do this. You can make it hot, you can make it cold, and you sip on this between lunch and dinner. If you're anything like me, I used to have terrible in and out. I had to eat it. I didn't understand that if it was just one, that was keeping my insulin levels elevated, and insulin is your insulating hormone. So I sip this tea till dinner. When I get to dinner, if that's my big meal, I'm going to use the fiber matrix, the most studied fiber on the planet. This right here is clinically proven to reduce. This is a natural statin. It brings down your triglycerides better than anything on the planet. It brings down the A1C triple better than metformin that has a black box warning. It also increases your good age, and it suppresses your blood sugar spikes by 43%. Well, why is that important? If your blood sugar is lower by nearly half, would you have to inject more insulin? Less. And that's the protocol. Cost neutral, and it pays for itself. And if you're saving money on this, feel free to put dollar signs in the chat. Now, with this is supposed to be our competition. Well, look up statins and all the warning signs and side effects, and the physicians, anything from coronary artery calcification to blindness to diabetes, increasing risk of diabetes in females in menopause by 50%, to neuropathy, neuralgia, cirrhosis of the liver, the list goes on and on. Also, low libido, low estrogen, testosterone, and progesterone. I don't know many people that want to sign up for that, and they knew a different way. Also, metformin, that has a box warning. They used to call them black box. That means you can die from it. And Ozempic also has a black box warning. Well, this right here acts like Ozempic, and it acts like metformin, and this acts like a statin. And bariatric surgery, if people get so frustrated and don't know what to do and know they need to lose weight, when they have the surgery done, they're told to eat 5 to 6 meals a day. The problem is, even if you're eating smaller meals, every time you eat, your blood sugar goes up. Your insulin goes up. When insulin goes up, it tells your body to store fat for fuel. And when insulin's high, you cannot burn fat for fuel. And so this is why the weight comes back. So that's supposed to be our competition. Now, what I want to do is I want to highlight someone currently, and my friend Keith. And Keith is, I